Well, the two sessions is made up firstly of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference and the National People's Congress. Now, the former of those two, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, that kicked off yesterday with an opening ceremony. Now, that's a purely advisory body. It brings people from all around China, usually prominent members of the public or the community, and they will bring forward their ideas from their communities about what kind of things need to be addressed. Looking at the coverage, particularly in state media, these ideas can range from everything from environmental protection policy, agricultural policy, ideas around improving healthcare in rural areas, for example, even the merits of how many skyscrapers that are built in China. But as I say, that is purely an advisory body. Now, the main session, at least that gets the most attention from the international media, is the National People's Congress, which began today. Now, that brings together nearly 3,000 delegates from around the country into what is the largest legislative meeting in the world. They will, throughout this meeting, vote on policies and bills. However, it is, of course, all ironed out beforehand. It's more to give the appearance of a parliamentary kind of process, more of a rubber stamp, or even more around the political performance and ritual of bringing everyone together for this annual meeting every year.
And Kathleen, the government is under immense pressure to come up with solutions for its troubled economy. What have you heard so far?
Well, look, when the National People's Congress kicked off today, the delegates were arriving. We were hearing different ideas about what they wanted to have addressed in their local communities, things like training farmers, other grassroots kind of ideas as well. But it began, the main event today was the delivery of the government work report by the Premier Li Qiang. Now, that starts by laying out the achievements of the past 12 months. The Premier said that China's GDP had grown by 5.2% in 2023, and the Chinese Communist Party government has set a 5% target for economic growth in the year ahead. So we heard about some of those goals, but there was an acknowledgement of those challenges and those economic headwinds that China has been facing, particularly around the real estate crisis that's been going on for some time now, troubles with some financial institutions and also the large levels of local government debt. Now, many observers, both here in China and overseas, have been for some time, and today we're really looking for some kind of explicit policy measures, even stimulus measures that might have come out of today's meeting. In fact, the Premier Li Qiang defended the government's decision not to really implement any broad-ranging stimulus or short-term stimulus to temporarily prop up the economy, instead saying that the government would be focusing its energy on developing new high-tech industries, high-quality industries here, which we have already seen for some time now by the Chinese, but he particularly pointed to electric vehicles. He said that Chinese electric vehicles now make up about 60% of the global market, but also pointed to research and development in high-end manufacturing of things like aircraft engines, gas turbines and nuclear power units.
Well, can you tell us a bit more about what else observers will be looking out for as the meetings continue over the next week or so?
Well, there is some speculation about possible personnel changes in the ministry of the Chinese government, in particular the foreign ministry position. People might remember that mid-last year, the then Foreign Minister Qin Gong was replaced by his predecessor, Wang Yi, who had only handed over the role a couple of months earlier. So there has been some speculation for some time as to how long Wang Yi would hold this position, if it was just a temporary move. So everyone will be waiting to see if there is any movement, particularly around the foreign ministry, and that will be of particular interest to Australia because the Chinese foreign minister, whoever that may be, is due to visit in the next month or so. There has also been this quite unexpected development that the Premier, Li Qiang, will not give a press conference. It has been customary for about 30 years now that the Premier give a press conference at the end of the Congress. We learned yesterday that Li Qiang wouldn't be doing that, and it's been the topic of some discussion because it was as choreographed as Chinese political press conferences might be, it was one of the few opportunities that media, particularly international press, had to engage with the Premier, the Chinese second in charge, and the man who's really supposed to be in charge of the country's economy. So this has led to some commentary and analysis that this is another symbol of of the consolidation of power around Xi Jinping and a further eating away at the authority of China's second in charge.